Hello everyone, this is your professor once again, Professor Danny Cabulay, and we are on the course Recruitment and Selection. So for this week, we will be talking about a very important topic, the job interview. As you are aware, the job interview is one of the selection techniques that we learned earlier. So we will learn more about it this week. So let's just have some important reminders. First, make sure that you view or watch all the lecture videos, all the 5 lecture videos this week. So there's video lecture number 1 up to number 5 for week number 8. Okay? You have 7 days to watch all these videos. Better subscribe to my YouTube channel so you will always get notifications on future videos. By watching the full video, I repeat, you get to have a grade in attendance and recitation. But you also have to answer all the questions that are asked at the end of each video. If you don't answer, you will not have a grade in recitation and attendance. So you will automatically get the grade of 60. But if you answer them, you will surely get a grade higher than 60%. Okay? So make sure that you submit your take-home quizzes. The take-home quizzes are usually essays that you have to answer, essay questions, and you must submit them to my email address. My email address is danny_kabulay2000@yahoo.com. Okay? So let's go on with our topics for today. So our main topic is the job interview. But what will we discuss this week? We will be discussing job interview in a nutshell. Then we will talk about the main purposes of a job interview. Bakit ba siya kailangan? And then what are the different kinds or types of job interview? Then we will talk about the interview process. What goes on in the interview process? And then what are the typical questions asked? Okay? So you will get to have experience as an interviewee and as an interviewer. For this week, I would like you to experience being an interviewee for your task number 8 for your e-portfolio. I'll talk about it later in video number 5. And then lastly, we will be talking about the challenges in a job interview. Okay? So what exactly is a job interview? This is a selection technique applied by most employers and recruiters to assess an applicant for a specific position in terms of competencies. Ano ba yung mga competencies? Yan yung mga knowledge and skills that the applicant possesses. We're also testing personality. What is personality? You talk about attitudes, values, and finally, professional decorum. Ano ba yung professional decorum? Yan yung ating grooming, the way we dress up, the way we present ourselves to people in the corporate world. And also manners, yung ating tamang pagkilos. Okay? So yun ang mini-measure, right? That's the purpose of a job interview. So you can assess or measure competencies, personality, and professional decorum. The mechanics of a job interview could vary, from company to company in terms of the process, logistics, and resources that will be deployed or used, the time frame, and people involved. Kuminsan kasi, isa lang yung nag-i-interview. Kuminsan naman, madami. As in a panel interview. Kuminsan naman, maiksi lang yung proseso, 1 day. Sometimes, the interview could take several days. Pababalik-balikin ka. Okay? Or sometimes, masyado madaming gagastusin. Or in some cases, budget lang. Tipid. Okay? So, we will start looking at what exactly is a job interview. CV scanning, which we learned earlier, and job interview are the 2 most common techniques used by companies. Bakit? Kasi madali lang siyang gawin. At importante yun, no? Yung CV scanning para meron tayong record ng ating empleyado at yung job interview so we can check out, how are they? And one way also to check kung tama yung nakalagay sa CV is the job interview. Okay? Kung minsan kasi may mga bagay na nakalagay sa CV na hindi totoo. And we can, find that out during the job interview. Or merong mga bagay na nalalaman lang natin, new information that we get to discover or uncover during the job interview. But they're not included in the CV. But nevertheless, they're very important. Okay? So, sometimes it is possible that in a job interview, you will discover new and vital information not contained in the CV, and such information will be crucial in making a hiring decision. Okay? To hire or not to hire an applicant. Okay? Now, let us look at a case study. We'll call this case study the mascot. Enchanted Kingdom, alam niyo yung Enchanted Kingdom, right? EK sa Santa Rosa, Laguna. EK posted a recruitment advertisement for various positions for their grand reopening in 2022. Okay, example, mascot, ushers, usherettes, receptionists, cashiers, waiters, clowns, storytellers, dancers, technicians, area coordinators, drivers, shift managers, etc. Ang dami pala nilang kailangan, no? Kasi marami na sa kanilang empleyado mukhang hindi na babalik because of the pandemic. So, they will be hiring a lot. What is the schedule that they posted? Submission of CVs will be between May 15 and June 30. The preliminary interviews will be scheduled August 1 to September 30. The final interviews will be October 1 until October 15. Now, the notification of hired applicants will be November 1. Okay? So, malalaman lang November 1 or November 2 na sila ay tanggap na. Orientation and training of the new hires will be December 1 to December 22. 22 days of training. And finally, they start to work January 2, 2022. Okay, that's the schedule. Now, let us look at the body of the case. Piolo Concepcion, a tall, good-looking 19-year-old working student, applied for mascot. He submitted his CV and was scheduled for preliminary interview. He looked great, neat and dapper-looking in his white polo, black slacks, and waxed hair. So, gwapong-gwapo siya. He was 26 minutes late due to the heavy traffic from Malabon to Makati City, the venue of the interview. The two interviewers asked the following questions. Question number 1 from interviewer 1. Why do you want to join Enchanted Kingdom? The response of Piolo was, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to work in a place like EK. Okay. It is probably a lot of fun to make other kids happy. Now, let's look at the question of interviewer number 2. Tell me something about your family. Piolo said, I come from a poor and broken family. My father is a drug addict and my mother is a laundry woman. Labandera. I have 3 siblings, 2 are older than me and are both jobless, while our youngest is still in school. Interviewer 1. Another question. The position of mascot which you are applying for requires some dancing. Your CV does not mention that you have a talent for dancing. The answer of Piolo was, actually, I am a member of our school's cheer dance pep squad, and I was also a part-time dance instructor last year. I'm sorry if I did not bother to include those in my CV. Now, interviewer number 2 asked a follow-up question. You are good-looking and tall at 5'11". You are more suited as an usher instead of a mascot. Which do you prefer? The answer of Piolo, kahit ano na lang po. I am not choosy. Basta may trabaho. Ako kasi ang breadwinner ng family. Now, the last question was by interviewer number 1. Since you are a working student, how will you manage your time for schooling and work? Piolo's answer was, my classes are in the morning, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. I would request for a second shift schedule at work, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. if possible. Now here's the question I want you to answer. What is your overall assessment of Piolo's interview? I want you to comment on Piolo's decorum and appearance, and I want you to comment on Piolo's responses to the 5 questions. Now let's look at question number 1. Overall, Piolo's interview was generally okay. It was honest and candid, but some aspects can still be improved. On his decorum, being late in an interview cast a negative image. Okay? As punctuality is important, his grooming was appropriate and it exudes professionalism. Now, as to the second question, his responses were a mixed bag. Some are good, while some are inappropriate. Hindi tama yung ibang sagot niya. For question number 1, the response was brilliant because it unearthed a childhood aspiration. Aba, bata pa pala siya, pangarap na niya magtrabaho sa EK, and that's very good. For question number 2, there is nothing wrong with being poor and a breadwinner. But to mention coming from a broken family and then your father is a drug addict, that is like washing dirty linen in public, and that's not good. Yung mga baho natin sa pamilya, wag na natin nire-reveal yan sa interview. Okay? Kasi baka bias yung interviewer. So hindi tayo ang pipiliin. Okay? Kasi puro negative yung binabanggit natin tungkol sa sarili natin, sa sarili nating pamilya. Okay, continuation. The response to question number 3 is very good. It is direct and humble. Kasi nag-sorry pa siya, di ba? Response to question number 4, it is not good. Because it shows a lack of career direction. Hindi pwedeng kahit ano na lang na trabaho papasukin mo. Masyado ka namang desperate nun. Dapat firm si Piolo kung ano yung gusto niya. Kung ano yung bagay sa kanya. Kung ano yung makakabuti sa kanya. He should know his strengths and limitations. Okay? And finally, the response to question number 5 was brilliant because obviously he already has a well-planned out. He's already planned out his school and work schedule. Planado na. Sa umaga, mag-aaral siya. Sa hapon hanggang gabi, siya naman ay magtatrabaho. Okay? So, that's a good response to the case study. Now, here is your recitation. Kailangan sagutan ninyo to. Okay? This is the case of I Believe I Can Fly. Patricia Parlade, a 22-year-old tourism graduate, applied for the flight attendant position at Emirates Airline. You know, Emirates Airline was voted Airline of the Year. So ito yung pinakamagandang airline sa mundo. Okay? Isa siya sa pinakamaganda. Na one time, isang taon siya ay nanalong Airline of the Year. With over 280 applications received, the preliminary interviews will be held in a hotel in Manila to be facilitated by 5 HR officers. Within 3 days, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., the interviewer assigned to her batch asked, first question, hello Patricia, how are you today? How shall I call you? Pat? Patricia said, okay. Question number 2. Did you find it difficult to locate the venue? Her answer was, okay lang. Question number 3. What time did you arrive? Oh, I like your micro mini dress. Patricia answered, 8:30 a.m. Thank you. Question number 4. Tell me something about your course. Why did you pursue tourism? What did you want to become? Patricia answered, I want to become a flight attendant. I believe I can fly to many countries as a flight attendant. That's it. Question number 5. In your CV, you mentioned that you love swimming and you can speak Japanese or Nihongo. Is this correct? Patricia's answer was, just langoy aso lang po. Japanese greetings lang po. Okay. Question number 6. Oh, I see. Are you aware of the task of a flight attendant? Patricia answered, seating the passengers, serving drinks, walking up and down the aisle, and making announcements. Interviewer said, it's much more than that. Flight attendants are also in charge of security and safety on board the plane. They also administer first aid and emergency procedures in the event of an emergency landing. Ganun po ba? Ang dami palang trabaho. Okay, so I want you to answer the following questions. How would you assess overall the job interview of Patricia? Was it okay or was it bad? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest score you could give and 1 being the lowest score, what score would you give Patricia? Explain your answer. What do you think about Patricia's answers to questions 1 to 6? Were they strong answers or were they weak answers? So I would like you to answer lengthily. Mahaba ang magiging sagot ninyo sa recitation na ito. Okay? So, answer the question in the comment section below.